About attraction and intimacy, liking and loving others, chapter 10. We're on chapter 10. So let's go ahead and get started. Maybe. There we go. Because humans tend to be fairly defenseless alone, we have evolved as gregarious beings. In other words, we like to be with other humans. Due to this need, relationships have become the core of human existence. When people lack a need for relationships, they are diagnosed with the odd personality disorders, paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, and schizotypal personality disorder. Since humans, as all other animals, must reproduce to survive, attraction between males and females has had to have taken place, or none of us, of course, would be here. Humans have an intense need to belong, the need to connect with others in enduring close relationships. Roy Baumeister and Mark Leary feel that the following aspects illustrate the power of social attraction. When a man and woman have a child, the child's survival chances are boosted by a nurturing of bonded parents. Social attachments enhance survival for both children and their caregivers. When separated, they seek to be reunited. People so strongly desire close relationships that they spend billions to attract the opposite sex. Billions and billions of dollars are spent on perfumes, on plastic surgery, on breast enhancement, weight loss. All of these things have to do with attracting the opposite sex. Let me give you at least two examples. This is what Britney Spears looked like when she was on the Mickey Mouse show. And this is what she looked like after her plastic surgery. As you can see, there was quite a change. This is what Angelina Jolie looked like before her plastic surgery. This is what she looked like afterwards. As you can see, she got her nose narrowed. So did Britney. She changed her cheekbones. She changed the bridge of her nose. And of course, Angelina Jolie had surgery as well. This is Tom Cruise before he had his nose narrowed, his nostrils narrowed. He had his teeth fixed. He had his chin worked on. This is Michael Jackson. This is what he looked like when he was part of the Jackson 5 as a preteen. This is what he looked like later, and this is what he looked like just before he died. He had a condition that bleached his skin out. It's called vitiligo, and for that reason, he used to bleach his skin. And people thought he wanted to look white. This is what he looked like originally. As you can see, he had a lot of work done to his nose. And here he had his nose done. Somebody was saying that they were making a video with Michael Jackson, and the end of his nose seemed to be falling off, and he would have to put it back on. It's really kind of odd. Anyway, he had his hair straightened. This is in his Jerry curl phase, and of course, this is what he looked like as a little kid. Okay, this is Lindsay Lohan. I can't remember who this is. She was on different. No, I can't remember what. Voorhees is her name. Anyway, this is what she looked like when she was young, and this is what she looked like after she had her plastic surgery. This is Lindsay Lohan. This is her when she was young, and this is her later on. I just found out she got married. I just saw an article about the fact that Lindsay Lohan admitted that she's married. As you can see, she had her lips done. She had her nose narrowed. She's had all kinds of interesting problems. Ashton Kutcher. This is what he looked like when he first started on that '70s show. He had his jaw narrowed. He had his what else? Oh, he had his nose done. He had his chin taken care of. Anyway, this is Madonna. This is when she first started making music, and you can see all the work that has been done on her. Billions and billions of dollars. The power of social attractions. People seek a supportive soulmate in whom we can confide. This makes us feel prized and accepted. When we fall in love, we feel irrepressible joy, irresponsible joy. For those who are no longer connected through being jilted or widowed, the loss of social bonds causes pain, loneliness, or withdrawing. A similar response occurs to people who live in a strange place, away from people that they are used to. Of course, this doesn't, since I was military, we were military and we moved around so much. This was not that strange for me. I've lived in neighborhoods where I was a minority a lot. Well, obviously, when I was living in Sailly, I was a minority. But I've also lived in black neighborhoods and Hispanic neighborhoods around the country. I lived in Japan for 6 months. Where else have I been? Where I was the minority. Germany, of course. We were Americans in Germany. So yeah, strange places, or just different places. Actually, there really wasn't that strange. We learned to adapt, and so there you go. Factors that initiate friendships and sustain them: proximity. Proximity is geographical nearness. In order for two people to be friends, they have to be near enough to each other to have interactions on a fairly regular basis. Sociologists have discovered that most people marry someone who lives in the same neighborhood, works at the same company, or sits in the same class. Interaction, how often do people's paths cross? This has to do with availability. Having a nodding acquaintance with someone makes it more likely that the nodding will turn into friendship. Roommates are more likely to become friends than enemies. Interactions enable people to explore similarities and to perceive themselves as a social unit. Anticipation of interaction. Merely anticipating interaction boosts liking. This is fairly adaptive. Anticipating liking, expecting that someone will be pleasant and compatible, increases the chance of forming a reward relationship. Since we can't always pick the people around us, this adaptation allows us to get along with anyone. Familiarity leads to fondness. Research shows that people like familiar things far more than novel things. Familiarity only leads to boredom when the stimulation is incessant. People tend to like familiar people. We even like our own mirror image more than our actual image. Attractiveness. So if you looked at these two pictures, which one would you say was more attractive? The lady on the left or the lady on the right? If you said the lady on the right, one reason might be because of her eyes. Another reason would be her small lips. But we'll talk about that in just a second. If you look at these two individuals and you say the man on the left is more attractive than the man on the right, it might be because his prominent chin. He looks more masculine than this individual does. There you go. Good looks are an asset. You may not be able to judge a book by its cover, and beauty may only be skin deep. But study after study refutes Cicero's advice to refute appearance. Appearance does matter. A young woman's physical attractiveness is a moderately good predictor of how frequently she will date. At first meeting, attractiveness seems to be the most important factor in the desire to date someone, for both males and for females. Are women less superficial than men? No, not according to the research. Women are just as attracted to attractiveness as men are. The matching phenomenon, since not everyone can be matched with the pick of the litter, how do we pair off? The answer seems to be that we seek someone who is at the same level of attractiveness as we are. This is known as the matching phenomenon. This may be because both men and women do not want to be with someone they don't think that they can keep, but they want to optimize their selection with the most attractive person possible. If you looked at these two pictures, which one would you say was the more attractive? If you said the lady on the left, you would be well. That's her. And these are actually the same person. This is when she was older, and this is when she was younger. If you look at these two individuals, their eyes are about the same size. If you like curly hair, then the lady on the left would be more attractive. But she has a more masculine chin, so I'm guessing that you would consider this individual more attractive. If you look at these two individuals and you say the lady on the left is more attractive, it may be because of her more feminine chin and large eyes. We're going to find out that that's what most people find attractive about females. And of course, her chin is more masculine. Her eyes are not as big. If you look at these two individuals and you find the man on the right as more attractive than the man on the left, it may be because he has a more masculine chin. I really can't tell. I put these two pictures in here because they look pretty much the same. And of course, here's two younger women, or two younger girls. Most people say that the girl on the left is more attractive than the girl on the right. Men don't make passes at girls who wear glasses. That's an old saying, but I don't know. Anyway. Researchers have found that adults are more likely to stereotype an attractive person with more socially desirable traits as well. This stereotype was accepted even by people trained not to react to it, teachers and psychologists. We all react to this, and this can be a problem. So no matter who the individual is, no matter what they act like, the prettier person will always get the nod. This is one of the reasons why when I refer to my students, I refer to them not by their first names, but by their first initial and their last names. I don't want to know if somebody is a male or a female. As a teacher, and there's really not a whole lot anybody can do about this. Most teachers are more sensitive to females, and the more attractive somebody is, the more likely that they will get special treatment. It's just the way it works. And this is one of the reasons why I do some of the things that I do. I try to hide whether somebody's a male or a female, just by using their first initial. It doesn't fool me very often, but it gives me one level of separation from possible prejudice, I guess. This stereotype is even seen in preverbal children and on every preschool playground around the world. I don't know if you've ever been around little kids on the playground, but the better looking kid is always the one that's chosen as the leader. They're the ones that get to be the captain of one team against the other team. Really kind of weird the way that worked. Children learn early that attractive people are happier, they're sexually warmer, they're more outgoing, they're intelligent, they're more successful, but not more honest and concerned for others, except in Korea, where these traits are considered of optimum importance. Their attractiveness is associated with concern and honesty. So the more attractive you are, look at all these things that you get to be. Attractiveness and grooming affect first impressions on job interviews. Attractive people tend to hold more prestigious jobs and make more money than non-attractive people. A study in Canada put a monetary $1991 value on attractiveness. For every degree of attractiveness, the individual made $1,988 more dollars. In other words, about $2,000 by level of by degree of attractiveness. So if you're a really pretty person, why you can make 10, 15, 10, 16, 20,000 more dollars than the unattractive person. No wonder I've never made up very much money. Kind of tragic, isn't it? Stereotype may actually be true. Researchers have found that attractive children and adults are more relaxed, they're more outgoing, they're more socially polished, they're more popular, they're more gender typed. But this may be a self-fulfilling prophecy in that people treat an attractive person better, and so they may feel better about themselves than people who are less attractive. Researchers around the world have discovered that the same type of faces in one corner of the world are considered attractive in all corners of the world. People judge women's faces more attractive if they have large eyes and baby faces, perhaps suggesting non-dominance. Men are seen as more attractive if their faces suggest dominance and maturity. People perceive noses, legs, or statures that are not unusually large or small as attractive. When confronted with a group of pictures, most people will pick a computer-generated average face as more attractive than an individual face. The more average, the more attractive. This was even done with individual faces. Merging left halves as a whole face made the face more symmetrical, creating a more attractive image. And this is Johansson, Scarlett Johansson. And as you can see, this is the original Scarlett. This is left symmetry, and this is right symmetry. So which one is the more attractive? Actually, they all look about the same. That's to me anyway. They all look the same. This is Brad Pitt. This is the original. I don't know why they misspelled it. Left symmetry and right symmetry. I don't know. The original still looks better to me. This is, what is her name? I think this is, oh, I can't think of her, Paris Hilton. But I may be wrong. The original left symmetry and right symmetry. This is another individual. This is the original left symmetry and right symmetry. Using computer generation and various manipulation, researchers have discovered that the more a face accentuated the stereotypical female features, the more attractive the face was considered. The ideal female face has slightly smaller than average lower jaw, fuller lips, and larger eyes. Men are seeking women with reproductive capacity, so that's what they're looking for. They're looking for little girl features, or features that you would see in a teenage girl. So fuller lips, larger eyes, and a small jaw. Despite the Stone Age Earth Mother figurines, researchers have found that men seek women who have attributes that advertise them at their sexual peak. He seeks a woman whose waists are 30% narrower than their hips. This disqualifies women suffering from malnutrition, women who are pregnant, and women who have gone through menopause. And as you can see, these are the Earth Mother figurines from around the world. This is the one that we talk about the most. This is Venus of Wildorf. Wildorf is a place in Germany. This is someplace in France. As you can see, these are the ideal. They would make these figurines and then they would give them to women so that they could become pregnant. There we go. This is known as neoteny, looking like a younger person. And as you can see, this is their baby face, and that's her. Okay. This is an English thing. Kotzebue means if you smoke too much, it'll make your the skin around your lips wrinkly. And here's two more young ladies. Big eyes, small chin, and full lips. So the fuller the lips, the more likely that they would be attractive. This is Crystal Gale, Loretta Lynn's sister. And here's two more faces. She has a more masculinized face, so you'd probably say the lady on the right was more attractive. They both have fairly slender lips, though. I don't know. Women, on the other hand, are looking for a male mate whose body type suggests health and vigor. Once again, a good hip-to-waist ratio. Muscular males are more likely to be good at providing and protecting, and from their appearance have been successful in the past. Facially, they must look mature and dominant, not baby faces, of course. One of the other things that we need to talk about males, if they're too muscular, of course, they look like they can't catch any game, and that's what they're trying to do is catch game. So a runner is considered more attractive than a musclehead, a bodybuilder, a power lifter. And we're looking for masculinized face, no baby faces. This guy's got a more baby face. So the kid on the right or the man on the right would be considered more attractive. The man on the right would be considered more attractive, I'm guessing. There you go. Men tend to be jealous more than women are. They seek to control a woman's reproduction and ensure themselves that they are not taking care of someone else's offspring. Men tend to be more upset with sexual infidelity, and women are more upset by emotional infidelity. Women are more jealous of an attractive rival. Men are more jealous of a more dominant rival. However, attractiveness is relative. Gauging attractiveness is most based on who the individual is comparing the compared person to. Depending on whom individuals are around and whom they've been looking at lately, people tend to compare individuals to whom they have seen. Even viewing super attractive people of the same sex will make an individual see themselves as less attractive. And this is Mendez, I think. This is Ashari. This is a lady from India. Aishwarya Rai. I'm sorry, that's Aishwarya Rai. She was Miss World, I don't know, back in 2010 or something, 2000. You can see she has these amazingly colored eyes. And I can't think of her name. Anyway, two super attractive women. And there's Halle Berry and Rihanna, I think. Two more super attractive women. And Scarlett Johansson, I don't remember who this lady is. I don't remember. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson. And Ryan Reynolds and some guy on, this is Los Angeles. The background is Los Angeles. There's Ryan Reynolds, all pumped up. Ashton Kutcher after his facelift. I don't know who the guy on the right is. I don't know who the guy on the left is, but this is Brad Pitt, of course. And there you go. You've got those shocking blue eyes. Wait a minute. We're looking for blue eyes? Well, we're not finding them. Okay. Attractiveness is not perpetual, nor is it permanent. While people perceive attractive people as more likable, they, on the other hand, find more pleasant people more attractive. When people were presented with a personality profile of an individual as well as a photograph, they rated warm, helpful, and considerate people as more attractive. The happier two people are with one another, the less likely they will look at a member of the opposite sex as a potential love object. Monogamous relationships have been successful for eons because love blinds the person to their own mate's flaws and keeps them from looking for greener grass. People who are married or even just friends are more likely to have common attitudes, beliefs, and values. Research seems to indicate that the greater the similarity between spouses, the happier they are, and the less likely they are to get a divorce. People who have similar ideas are considered more intelligent and likable than people who disagree with us. Dissimilarity, on the other hand, breeds dislike. One of the strengths of the United States has been its ability to amalgamate disparate people into their culture through forced assimilation. The assimilation has created an idea that all white Europeans are pretty much the same. The reality is that all groups except for the English have been denigrated at one point or another in U.S. history by one generation or another, and only through discarding differences and accepting the melting pot have people gone from hated status to accepted status. And we can go back and we can talk about people from different parts of Europe. We can talk about people from different parts of the world. And the only place that people have always been the elite or the accepted are pretty much the English. The Irish were considered second or third class citizens. Germans were considered second-class citizens. They were considered drunks in the early 19th century. Germans and Irish, they talked about the Germans drinking beer and the Irish drinking whiskey. And when they drew cartoons of them, they made them look like primates rather than humans. The French have been denigrated. Just about everybody has been denigrated from one time or another. So you really can't talk about any group in the United States being dominant or any group being seen as positive except for the English. As strange as that may seem, you may think of all white people as the same, but the reality is that if you're Italian or Greek or Spanish or Welsh, all of these people have been seen as less than perfect from time to time. Greeks, just about everybody. Everybody except the English, of course. When people are dissimilar, does it create an air of titillating danger? Research seems to show that when people are attracted to an opposite, that opposite is more likely to be an ideal of the other individual. So while good girls may be drawn to bad boys, it may be more of a desire for the good girl to be bad and the bad boy to be good, like the end of Grease. And I'm going to show you that clip right now. Maybe? There we go. Okay.
Sandy? Tell me about it, stud. I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control. 'Cause the power you're supplying, it's electrifying. You better shape up, 'cause I need a man, and my heart is set on you. You better shape up, you better understand. To my heart I must be true. Nothing left for me to do. You're the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. The one I need. Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
If you feel with affection, you're too shy to convey. Meditate my direction. Feel your way. Wow! I better shape opposite side. You're the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. I wanna be. Oh, yes, indeed. You're the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. I wanna be. Oh, yes, indeed. You're the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. I wanna be. Oh, yes, indeed. You're the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. I wanna be. Oh, yes, indeed. Everybody, wrestle with Kentucky.
Okay, I don't know if you remember that movie. Anyway, Sandy, the lady, was this prim and proper person, and eventually what happened was she decided she wanted to go with Kaneki. No, his name wasn't Kaneki. I can't remember. John Travolta's character, but who was a hood. So they made her a little bit more hoodie, and John Travolta's character was trying to impress Sandy, so he started running cross country or long distance racing or something because he couldn't get along with anybody. Anyway, so he lettered, and he thought that would impress her. And then, of course, she dressed the way that she dressed and smoked a cigarette. Anyway, they're both acting different than their characters were, and probably that'll we'll have problems with copyrights. Anyway, people are more likely to like someone who likes them. This is known as attribution. People can use attribution as a strategy through ingratiation, using flattery to gain favor with someone else. This can sometimes backfire with people who are used to ingratiation in that they are so used to empty flattery that they see any as superficial and the flatterer as being obsequious. But flattery is a funny commodity. Researchers found that when people hear negative information from a source that turns to positive information, they feel kindlier toward the individual than if they had only heard flattery. Constant approval tends to lose its value. This may be why honesty between spouses tends to lead to a longer lasting marriage. Reward theory of attraction: those who reward us or those we associate with rewards we like. If a relationship gives us more rewards than costs, we like it and wish to continue. If an individual is trying to punish their parents for one reason or the other, a relationship with an individual that the parents dislike is very rewarding for the individual. People also tend to like people that they associate with good feelings. Researchers created a situation where subjects interacted with an experimenter in either a positive manner or a negative manner. When the subject was then confronted with a choice of interacting with a person that looked like the initial experimenter or not, the people who had had a negative experience with the experimenter avoided the individual who looked similar to her. Proximity in itself is rewarding. It costs less in time and effort to receive friendship from someone close by. Attracted people are rewarding because people benefit from associating with them. People with similar views are rewarding because it validates our own ideas, and we assume they like us in return. People have a need to be liked and loved, so there's a strong pull for it to happen. Love has been described in many ways by philosophers, scientists, and romance novelists. Psychologists Lee, Hendrick, and Hendrick identify three primary love styles. Eros is self-disclosing passion, ludus is uncommitted game playing, and storge, is that right? Storge, I'm sorry. Storge is friendship. Combining these three styles in different combinations creates a compendium of love styles. Elements that are common in all loving relationships: mutual understanding, giving and receiving support, enjoying the loved one's company. Thus, relationships with high levels of eros and storge tend to have higher relationship satisfaction. Passionate love fits this criteria, a state of intense longing for a union with another. While eras in history or differing cultures articulate it differently, most have supported an ideal of romantic love in connection with family units and procreation. Research shows that while women are more likely to articulate the state of being in love, men react in a similar manner, though their recovery seems to be slower and they are less likely to want to break off a premarital romance. Women tend to focus on intimacy, while men focus on the playful, physical aspect of the relationship. Companionate love. Companionate love is the feeling of affection we feel for a romantic partner that we have intertwined our lives with over time. While passionate love is characterized by wild emotions, companionate love is lower keyed, deeper, and more affectionate. People addicted to the feeling of passion may seek short-term relationships that feed the need for the passion fix. In our anthropologic past, loners were less likely to survive than people that connected themselves to other people. Thus, humans evolved seeking to bond themselves to other humans, and this is known as pair bonding. This bonding is tied into our DNA and begins as soon as the baby is born. 70% of all babies display secure attachment when they are born. These babies trust their mother to be there when they need them. Adults who were secure as babies tend to have secure, loving relationships. They find it easy to get close to others and don't fret about getting too dependent or being abandoned. They tend to enjoy sexuality within the context of a continuing relationship. About 20% of infants exhibit avoidant attachment. These infants tend to ignore their caregiver and avoid closeness. As adults, these individuals tend to invest less in relationships. Sex without love is acceptable, and one-night stands are common. They find relationships either scary or unnecessary. 10% of infants are insecurely attached. These infants are clingy with their parents most of the time, but seem to punish their mother for being gone when their mother returns. As adults, they become anxious, ambivalent, fluctuating between hostility and indifference in a relationship. They tend to treat their significant others as they did their mothers, possessive and jealous. They tend to be overly emotional and may break up repeatedly with the same individual. Most relationships cannot survive unless there is as much give as there is take. This is known as the equity principle of attraction. Everyone should be getting out of a relationship what they are putting into it. When there is inequity in a relationship, or at least feelings of such, the loser will keep adding to the debt of the other until the relationship ends when the straw breaks the camel's back. And that is the end of chapter 10, I think. Yeah, chapter 10.